Here's 30 of my best pieces of advice and my best tips for new and first-time thru hikers to hopefully allow you to be successful, to achieve this thing that you've been dreaming about, and also hopefully to allow you to have more fun while you're out there. The best way to train for a thru hike is by doing a thru hike. Now, we can't do the Appalachian Trail before we do the Appalachian Trail, but what we can all do after work or before work or wherever is to go out on short day hikes. It's going to help condition your body, it's going to help condition your feet and prepare you for this kind of thing. Now, while you're getting out and hiking, my tip number 2 would be to test and try out your gear. It's always been amazing to me how many people I'll run into that are starting their 2,000-mile long thru hike who haven't tried their gear on shorter trails near home. Go out when it's cold and try on all your different layers. Go out when it's raining so you can test out that rain jacket and make sure that you know how to set up your tent in the rain. And by doing it near home, you are in a much safer environment than you are going to be when you are much, much further away from home, off on the Appalachian Trail, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Now, the last little thing I really want you to focus on when you're getting out and you're trying out your gear and you're conditioning your body is to really dial in your shoes, to try different shoes, to make sure that your shoes fit you, that your shoes aren't causing you blisters, because if your shoes are causing you blisters, that probably means that these aren't the right shoes for you. You know, ultimately your feet are the most important thing of this entire journey, and you really got to take care of them. Start slow. Please start slow. So many people get injured so very early on into their hikes and aren't even going to give themselves a chance to ever see the wonders of the northern sections of a trail. So many more people would be successful on their thru hikes if they just started out slower. To set small goals and to celebrate the small stuff. You know, the smaller the goal, the better, and the more the goals, the better. Make them achievable and ask yourself, how can I do this? Know that you will get stronger. That being out on the trail and hiking day after day is going to make you stronger. You just got to give yourself a chance to kind of get to that phase. So start slow and just always keep in mind that with every day you are getting stronger. Ultimately, all a thru hike is a series of section hikes. It's a series of 3 to 5 day backpacking trips that you're just doing one after another, after another, after another. So 3 to 5 days. Can you hike for 3 to 5 days? I bet you can. I know you can. Can you do that again? I absolutely know that you can. So just keep doing that 3 to 5 days over and over and over. And before you know it, you'll have completed the thru hike. I love planning. I have planned all of my hikes to the death. You know, just spreadsheets on lists, on weather reports, on everything. I love doing it. But you know what? As soon as I get onto that trail, all those plans are out the window. I encourage you to be flexible, to don't be too strict with your plans. Allow yourself to make changes on the fly based on how you're feeling and how you're doing. When you start your hike is really important. Starting the Pacific Crest Trail in March is going to be a very different hike than those that start in April or, of course, May. Same goes for the Appalachian Trail or any other trail. 2 weeks can be a really, really, really big difference. And a month, even more so, in the gear that you're going to need, what the weather is going to be like, how you're going to feel out there, what the trail is going to be like. So when you start your thru hike is very important, and I would definitely pay close attention to that and what is needed for different times of starting a trail. So don't be afraid to start alone. You know, I've done the majority of my thru hiking alone, and you know what I find on a lot of these trails?
Pretty good.
Within the first minute or something, I'm hiking with someone else. I'm hanging out with someone else. I'm meeting someone new and talking with someone that's really cool, that's also doing the same big, massive adventure that I'm on. So even if you're starting alone, you're not actually ever starting alone. This is a marathon and not a sprint. You need to be thinking about the long term. You know, how can I make my body last for 5 months? Are you budgeting your money for the long haul? Or are you spending all of your money within that first month of the trip? Are you losing weight too fast? Maybe you need to be eating more every day. So we are running the marathon, and we need to be thinking about, how can I make this sustainable for 6 months? One of my best pieces of advice, and probably one that I've shared the most over the years, is to just have fun. You know, pack out that entire pie, bring along a frisbee, hang out at that waterfall all day. You know, you don't have to hike 20 miles today. It's okay if you only hike 2 miles today. Have fun. Know that it's not always going to be fun. So people say don't quit on a bad day. I think that's fantastic advice, because the sun is going to come out again. This is the long haul, and in life, not every day is fun. Same with a through hike. Keep in mind that this isn't your typical camping with friends kind of trip. This is more of a walking trip, and you need to pack light to be able to facilitate that and to be able to do that every day without injury. So I have a lot of great videos on this channel. I did a video similar to this with 100 tips for a more ultralight backpack that I think you should check out. Now, while you're out there, you're gonna have a lot of time to yourself. You're gonna have so much time to think about your friends, your family, your hobbies you wanna get into, maybe a career change or a different direction you wanna go in your life, things you wanna improve in your life. So you need to write these things down so when you come back home, you can remember them. So my next tip is to pay attention to your body. It's amazing how much your body is always trying to tell you. In general, I want to listen to those aches, those pains, those sores, what they're trying to tell me, and then I want to try and correct those problems instead of just masking it with something like ibuprofen. So listen to your body out there. It's really trying to help you. It's really trying to keep you healthy and happy. Now, of course, the most important part of your body on a thru hike is your feet. So take care of your feet. Take extra care of your feet, special care of your feet. It's your feet that are going to get you from the very beginning to the very end. Your body is probably not used to exercising for 10 hours a day, every day, for weeks and months on end. What we need to do to counteract this is we need to eat. We need to bulk up. We need to be eating constantly, because eventually what's going to wind up happening is your body has eaten through all the fat on you, and it's starting to dig into your muscle, and it's eating away at your muscle. So you know how I said you're going to get stronger, and know that you're going to get stronger? If you don't eat, you're just going to get weaker. So now you're consuming something like 8,000 calories a day. You're eating all this food and doing all this stuff. I don't want you to forget electrolytes. I know you're supposed to be getting a lot of your electrolytes just from the foods that you consume, but it's always good to just get a little bit extra. So while you're eating all this extra food, don't forget the electrolytes. My next tip for a happy and healthy body is to stretch nightly. Now, I don't mean doing a full 2-hour yoga routine, but just doing a little bit of stretches. If the stretch routine is too involved, is too long, is too crazy, I'm just not gonna do it. So that's why I'm just telling you to do a little bit each night, because it's gonna make your body feel so much better the next day. So you've sold your kids, you sold your house, you sold all your belongings, you know, now you find yourself out on the Pacific Crest Trail, you're a weekend, and you realize you don't even really like this. I know everyone wants to do the Triple Crown, you know, because they are so iconic, they are so long, they are so big, but really consider doing a shorter trail first. So the advantage of doing a shorter trail, you don't really have to give up everything in your life to go do those. You don't have to quit your entire job and your entire career and sell all your things to go do that. Now, in regards to resupplying on a thru hike and getting more food and supplies on a thru hike, there's a couple different ways to go about it. A lot of people will send themselves resupply boxes. I'm going to tell you not to do this. Don't bother with sending yourself resupply boxes. So in general, I think resupply boxes are way too much planning, way too much hassle, and for absolutely zero benefit for like 99% of hikers. So when you don't send yourself resupply boxes, you have that flexibility of going into town and just buying whatever you're craving in that moment. I really want you to pay attention and find what makes you happy out there. Is it hiking with different people and talking to people and hanging out with shelters? Is that like the thing that you're really enjoying? Is it crushing the 40-mile days? Is it making a video documentary about your hike? Find what it is out there that is really fun to you and do more of that. I know you've heard this phrase already, we all have, some of us hate it, but hike your own hike. Only you know how your body feels, only you know what your body needs, only you know mentally what is going to really stoke you up and make you happy and keep you going on this long 5, 4, 6 month journey that you're on. So really focusing on what is best for you and being a bit selfish is really great on a thru hike. I just see a lot of people year after year after year that are just like so down on themselves for like not being able to do more, whatever more is to them. So my tip here is to be stoked on what you are doing. You should be stoked even if you're just taking one step after another. Don't let the expectations of what you feel like you should be doing get in the way of just having a really great time out there. My next piece of advice is to take more 0 days, or in other words, days off, earlier on in your hike rather than further down the line. This is when the vast majority of physical things are probably going to happen to you. So take more days off early on in the trip to save yourself and to allow yourself to enjoy the rest of your trip. I think even on a very low budget, you can do a thru hike, but I also think, if we're being truly honest, the more money that you have saved, the higher chances of your success. So do everything you can before trail to save up money. For a lot of people, a thru hike like the Pacific Crest Trail or something is really like a once in a lifetime, crazy, awesome, amazing adventure. You don't want to be denying yourself certain things that otherwise you would be getting and otherwise you would be doing if you had a little bit more money saved. By being on a budget, you're just kind of making things a little bit harder on yourself. My next tip is to leave no trace. These long trails are becoming more popular. Unfortunately, what that means is these areas are being more heavily impacted. So please leave no trace on these long trails so that thousands can continue to enjoy them into the future. Be skeptical of every piece of advice you're given, and that includes me. When looking up things on Facebook groups or on Reddit or throughout Google or wherever you find these pieces of information, always be skeptical, because what works for one person isn't always going to work for someone else. Now, as always, my last tip is going to come from you. So have you done a thru hike before? Have you done a long distance hike? Please leave your best advice, your best tip down in the comments section below so that other people can read through that and see advice and tips that aren't just from me, but from other people who have been there and done that before. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos like this or for more hiking content. I'll catch you guys in the next one.